Do you see any of the success as like the universe looking out for you all? Because you had a couple rough years before you ended up having a break. You lost everything in a fire, correct?
Yeah, we did. That was a crazy time, and it was just a weird time in our life where, yet again, we grew up in Somerville, Mass, which is like a smaller city right outside of Boston. And my mom, I always joke that she could be the mayor. She knows everyone in that city. So we had a lot of friends that we had a lot of caring and loving friends, which was amazing and helped us out so much through that time. But it was wild. We had the same family house that we lived in our whole life. And there was one time where we almost moved. And I think I was like the sole reason we didn't move when we were we were probably like 13 or 14. But I was like, I can't leave this house. I'd like it too much. I think the selling factor was that the bathroom was on like a separate floor of the new house. I was like, I hate the idea that I'd have to like go upstairs and shower every time. Like, I just don't want to move into this house. So then we stayed at the house that we grew up in. And then a couple years later, it was our junior year of high school, it caught on fire. And me, Matt, and Nick used to share 2 bedrooms. We would have like a man cave room where it was like our PlayStations and computers and like a couch, and we'd just all hang out in there. And then our bedroom, which was all our clothes and 3 beds, like all in the same bedroom. And then the house caught on fire. It was really crazy point in time. It was just like one of those things where like you hear stories of that happening to people and you just never think it's going to happen to you. And then it does, and you're like, wow, like that's insane.
That's my biggest fear.
Yeah.
My house burning down.
My fear is now severe, like with fire. Just like even outside, if someone has a fire, I get super nervous. Inside, I always blow candles out, and then I'll look at it and make sure that there's no flame that's going to come back. The stove, I'll always triple check that it's off, like shit like that. But fire definitely intimidates me a lot now. But yeah, it's scary. And then I remember me and Matt were home, and we were sleeping in super late. We've always been the type to stay up late as hell. Like I stay up till like 5, 6 in the morning, go to bed, sleep till like 1 or 2 in the afternoon. And it was like 2 in the afternoon. We were sleeping in, me and Matt, and it was and Justin. We were all sleeping in super late. My mom had just gotten home from walking our dog, and then some cop was banging on our door and was like, come down, whatever. And then my mom was in the living room. She ran downstairs and she saw the cop and was like, what's going on? She's like, your house is on fire. Get everyone outside. If my mom wasn't home, life would be totally different, because I don't know if me and Matt would have like died. So
nobody knew that it was. How could you?
It started on the back porch. The fire from a cigarette from my aunt who lived beneath us, and it burnt up the back of the house. And then because all the doors were shut on the back, so it like had nowhere to go inside of the house. So it just kept going up the back. And the back of the house by level was like the first floor apartment, our kitchen, and then the man cave bedroom was like the 3rd floor on the back, like that. And then Nick was out of the house, so my mom thought the banging on the door was Nick, and he like forgot his key, and she was getting ready to like yell at him, like, why is he knocking so loud? Like he's gonna break the glass. So she went down there, opened the door, and it was a cop, and she's like, get everyone out. Me and Matt ran outside. It's like when people are always like, oh, if your house is on fire, what's the first thing you're grabbing? You're not grabbing anything. You're getting outside because you have no idea where the fire is. If you're me and Matt, my older brother grabbed everything. Like me and Matt,
17 suitcases.
No, literally, me and Matt.
Out boxes
I ran outside, and I'm in my underwear and my boxers. Junior year of high school. It's not like a normal age to be outside in my underwear. So I'm like, oh my god, I need clothes. And then my neighbor comes outside with like a Tupperware bin of his old like high school uniforms or something. He's like, here, take this. So then I put on his like tracksuit. So I have like some high school tracksuit on outside. And then Matt also puts on clothes. And I'm just sitting there on the curb, like watching my house burn. And cops start coming out of left field. Like everyone's like going to our house, cops, firemen, everything. My friend drives by on his motorcycle. He's like, is that your house burning? I was like, yep. And then all my friends started coming out of nowhere. Like people were hearing it on the news and just coming over. Like everyone, so many people I knew were right there in that moment. My mom's getting harassed by like insurance people. Like, oh, like we have the best house insurance here. Just, I don't know what it was, but they were just trying to scam us. So my mom's getting like
The house is like still in the middle of burning.
Literally, the second that people hear houses are on fire, they fly there to try to make a quick dollar on
That's
it and
so
take advantage of people.
Fucking dark.
Yeah, my mom was getting, probably had like a deck of business cards after, like a full 52. It was insane. And then, me and Matt ran outside. I'm still scared because I don't even know Nick left the house at this point. But then I assumed when I woke up out of my bed and didn't see him that he was already gone because we all had the same bedroom at that point. So I knew he was out. I knew my dad was at work. And I was like, where is Justin? What the fuck is he doing? Comes outside, full outfit, like, and it color coded and everything. Like, it looks like he's good. Like, it literally looked like he was gonna take like photos. Like, he looked very, very well and put together. He has his JanSport backpack, and he's like walking outside casually. And I'm sitting there thinking he's like dying. And he comes out with a full outfit on. I'm like, this kid is losing his mind. And he just walks out, and then I just thought it was so funny because I was sitting there in a neighbor's clothes, and he just had like one of the best outfits I've seen him put on in a while. And then
to watch his house burn down,
like, it was crazy. It was so funny.
He knew he was going to be on the news that day.
Literally,
he's like, literally, I got dressed to impress.
It was so funny, and I always make that joke with him. I'm like, you are just like the least urgent person I know, like just casually walking out of a house fire, and it was funny too because like I was in such like sense of urgency and I didn't see any flames or anything happening. I just knew to get out. He probably saw more of like an actual experience going on. And
like the house is burning on the outside while he's getting through the window while he's getting changed.
Literally, it was crazy. And then there was like Red Cross or something was like offering us like hospitality and like hotels and stuff for a little bit. But we just knew so many people that we were fine. Our friend, his family was on vacation and was like, bro, literally have my house. And his mom gave my mom the keys, and she's like, anything in the fridge is yours. Any clothes you need, take
really
it.
Sweet.
The goats, amazing family.
Kindness of community.
Yeah, amazing family. And we were really good friends with the kid who was in our grade, and so shout out to them. And then we stayed in their house for about, I want to say like a week. Or maybe longer, like 2 weeks. And then my mom and dad were obviously looking for an apartment. But what sucked the most about it is right when the fire was happening, they were like, you guys are going to be out of your house for probably like 3 months, I want to say, while construction's going on. We're like, okay, 3 months is a while, it seems like, but it's okay. We can figure it out. 3 months isn't too bad. And then it started getting delayed more and more. Like after the fire fully was put out, they're like, you're looking more at like probably like 5 months. So it just kept prolonging. COVID happened. Only one construction worker could work on the scene at a time. One person for our whole house. So then it got delayed even more. And then people were just getting sick, and then it just kept getting delayed, and all the delays, like the COVID delays kicked in. We didn't move back to our house for like 2 years. And we were told 3 months initially. So I was like devastated.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was brutal. But we then moved into an apartment across the city, which was probably like really the hardest part of life for me that I've experienced so far. But what came out of it is the best thing that's ever happened in my life. So I never even really cared that much that it happened. I think it was the best learning experience that I've had. Just because like me and Matt shared a living room as a bedroom. Nick had an office. My mom and dad had their room. Justin had his room. And it was just super small for our family. So we were always on top of each other, getting into arguments. And it was just like, you're raising 4 kids, 3 of them being teenagers, all in the same house. Obvious, no family's perfect. There's going to be like arguing. And that's kind of what birthed our content and made it a thing, because me, Matt, and Nick would get angry sometimes. We'd be like, we got to get out. Like, let's just leave the house. Matt had his license, got in the minivan, drove down the street. Car videos exist now because of that, pretty much.
That's crazy.
Way.
Yeah.
I just got goosebumps.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it happened. And the fire is like to thank for all of it, pretty much, which is crazy. But it's like, even just like, we were obviously a fortunate family, but also like my mom and dad supporting 4 kids and like having to buy 3 of everything was a lot.
Yeah.
Like we had Samsung phones like till like sophomore year. Obviously I'm super fortunate for what I did have, but also like splitting things with, like I always was like, if my mom bought Matt something nice, I was like, okay, I'll wait my turn to like get something. Cause I just knew that like my mom and dad were just gonna like spit out money and buy a bunch of things for everybody. But then I got like then at that point I started making my own money at Star Market. So I was buying myself like all the Lyrical Lemonade shit, all Little Skies merch. Like that's all I would buy for myself, things I loved. And then it all burnt. And then, because it was mostly where we kept our clothes and stuff that just got attacked by this fire. And then even not like down the hall was where my main dresser was with all my clothes, but just like the amount of like water damage and smoke smell, everything in the house, fire or not, had to get like new couch, wasn't even touched by the fire. Just the intense smell of everything. It's like impossible to air out a house fire. So then we did like an event. It was kind of like a baby shower, but for like house fires. And it was like we rented out a bar or something, or like some tavern, and we did like a lot of generous people in our city got us like a new blender, a new thing of pots and pans. Yeah, a new like my mom. My mom knows everybody in our city. I'm not even underestimating that. Like she knows every person ever. So it's like someone's like, hey, Mary Lou, I got 3 chairs, need them? Hey, I got a coffee table. Hey, I got this. Hey, I got that. So our house is fully pretty much furnished just from gifts of people throwing stuff out, Facebook Marketplace, people just like stuff like that.
That's so sweet.
Yeah, and then I had no clothes except this high school tracksuit that I got from my neighbor. So I bought 1 pair of shoes, I bought some sweatpants, some hoodies, and some hats, and that's all I really had senior year. And then I also had to quit my job because of COVID in Star Market, and it was getting overwhelming. And at this point, we were like just fully focusing on YouTube. We had no job, and me, Matt, and Nick would split a YouTube check of like $100 every month, and like my mom would give us obviously cover for our food and stuff, but anything we wanted or anything special was like me, Matt, and Nick were splitting the YouTube checks that were not enough to split 3 ways, but we made it work for that whole year of grinding YouTube. And then, then we finally got to move back into our house. That we live currently at the same house that caught on fire back home now. And that was a super amazing experience, because just going back to that house when it was fully done and how different my life was just like, wow, it was insane. But yeah.
A huge transition.
Yeah. It was crazy.
Really wild.
And it was just humbling as well, because like going from having a decent amount of things that I really loved and enjoyed, and then getting it all torn away, just to like, then it was like a rebranding of life. Like I felt like I was reshaping everything after that house fire. And I would always prolong my problems because of that. Like when we would have like things we wanted to do or cared about, I'd be like, once I get back in my old house, I can do this, but I can't do it here. And I would always just prolong things until like I would get to that house, which is honestly something I struggle with nowadays too, where I'll set unreasonable things that I like need to happen before I do something, where I'll be like, oh, like I'll figure that out once this happens. And it's like, no, just do it. Mm-hmm. Just figure it out, bro.